looking at lesson 2. With this lesson, we're going to learn two things. Lesson 2 and two things. We're going to learn about the absolute value of a number and the opposite of a number. They're very close, but yet different. So let's start out thinking about what is a negative number. So remember, we have our negative numbers here on the left. The farther away from 0, the smaller it is. The positive numbers are on the right. The farther away from 0, the larger they get. So kind of opposites, right? Opposites. Now remember, 0 is just 0. It's neither positive or negative. It is just our starting point for both the worlds, negative land and positive land. All right. So what is the opposite of a number? Well, the opposite of a number is a number that is the same distance from 0. So if I were to say, okay, let me grab my drawing tool here. Let's look at -6. -6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jumps from 0, right? So if I said, what is the opposite of -6? It would be going in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the opposite of -6 would be +6. So they're just kind of like if you were to take the number line, fold it in half, those numbers would match up. So let's look at another one here. Let's look at, let me change my colors here. Let's look at +2. What is the opposite of +2? Well, it's 2 away from 0. It would be -2. What's the opposite of -2? It would be +2. So they are the opposite on the number line there. Awesome, awesome. All right, so now let's get into, oops, we got to erase that. How do I clear all? There we go. Now let's get into absolute value. Now the absolute value, we're looking at a distance. We're looking at a distance from 0. So if I were to take a ruler and measure from 0 to a number or 0 to a negative number, that measurement would be my answer. So if I look at the absolute value, which are these two lines, I talk about these two lines as field goals, and everything inside the field goals is always, always positive because you get positive points, right? So the absolute value of 5 would be always positive. It would be 5 because it is 5 is 5 away from 0 if we were to measure it, right? Let's try another one. What is the absolute value of -5? We have those field goals on either side. Whatever goes through the field goals is always positive. Well, if I were to take a ruler and measure all the way from 0 to -5, it would also be 5 jumps, right? So this answer would also be 5. So absolute value is always positive, and it's always the distance it is from 0. How many jumps is it from 0? All right, let's try one more. -13, absolute value. Absolute value. So if I were to go from 0, I'd have to do 13 jumps to get to -13. So therefore, my answer is 13. Always positive. So that is absolute value of a number and also opposite of a number. If you have any questions as you're working through the assignments, please make sure you let Mrs. Jenkins know. And that's me.